Dorothy Malone as Constance Mackenzie. Ed Nelson as Michael Rossi. Mia Farrow as Allison Mackenzie. Ryan O'Neill as Rodney Harrington. Barbara Parkins as Betty Anderson. Tim O'Connor as Elliot Carson. Christopher Conley as Norman Harrington.
Norman Harrington and Rita Jacks eloped last night. Impulsively, perhaps, but also because they are deeply in love. Now they've come back to make a new life for themselves, and they find a new world. The first snow has fallen on Peyton Place.
It's perfect.
I thought you'd like it. I ordered it special, gift wrapped.
Thanks, husband.
Where are you going? Out! Out! You'll freeze!
I don't care. Ooh. Wake up, Dumbtown. See what you're missing? Oh, it's beautiful.
Hey, what are you doing? I'm gonna get you.
No, you're not.
Yes, I am.
Oh, no, you're not.
Oh, yeah? Welcome home, wife.
I've never been as happy in my whole life all put together. People die of happiness, don't they? I feel like I could just keel over and die. I'm so happy.
We're married. We're really married. We're actually married. Hey, everybody, we're married! Maybe they all left town. They heard we were coming back, and they got so jealous they just couldn't stand it, and they all left town.
Thank you for the beautiful town. I like impractical wedding presents, don't you?
I can just see the society page. 3-inch headlines. The greatest wedding of the century. Miss Rita Jacks and Mr. Norman Harrington were wed last night in a candlelight ceremony at the Wayside Chapel in Owen Ridge. The bride carried an impressive rare bouquet of flowers. Her veil was of exquisite heirloom lace.
What about the groom?
Mr. Norman Harrington was impeccable in his unique and striking cutaway of corduroy.
Following the ceremony, there was an elegant reception catered by Manny's Delicatessen.
And the charming music was provided by Schmaltz Incorporated. Go. The radiant couple led off the dancing. Mr. and Mrs. Norman Harrington spent an elegant honeymoon in the bridal suite at the Royal Owens Motel. It is rumored that the bride took a bouquet of flowers to bed with her.
Come on, I want to introduce you to some friends.
Mrs. Montgomery, we got married. Isn't it wonderful? Norman, I'd like you to meet Mr. Johnston. Mr. Johnston, this is my husband.
Hi. Thank you, Mrs. Carson. I knew you'd approve of my wife.
Mrs. Rose, we did it. Mr. Courtney, we got married, Norman and me. Do you want to wake up Rodney?
Yeah. No, he's only gonna be your brother-in-law. Let's tell your mother first. Come on.
Okay.
Beautiful morning, huh?
Yes. Oh, I'm
You won't
so
believe
excited,
it.
Mr.
Last
Carson.
night,
You
Mr.
should have
Carson,
seen
we
the
did the greatest
chapel.
thing in the
I'm
world
so
we've ever
happy.
done.
I just
We decided...
Now, hold your horses, hold your horses. What are you saying?
Meet Mrs. Norman Harrington.
We got married last night. We really did.
Why, that's wonderful. You're gonna be happy. I know it. You kids will bounce back. You're tough. You'll make it work. I'm gonna kiss the bride.
Mr. Carson, you're the first to know. Oh, I'm so glad it was you.
I'm glad it was you. Good luck, both of you.
Thank you.
Nervous? The worst she can do is tar and feather us.
That's not the worst you can do.
I'm here. I'm right next to you.
I don't know. I have the sudden feeling that when I open my mouth to tell her, nothing will come out. Just air.
I'll translate.
Mom? Mom?
What?
Oh, honey. Oh, baby. Oh, I just don't believe it. Oh, honey. You know, I wasn't really worried because when you didn't show up, well, I thought I'd guessed.
I found this little chap low in Owens Ridge. And the minister, well, he just couldn't have been sweeter. And his wife, well, she was fussing all over me. It's almost like having you there.
Honey.
Mom, you're not allowed to cry.
Oh, who's crying? I'm just so happy, that's all. My baby. Now, look, you two are going to have the bedroom, see? We'll fix it up real cute, and I'll sleep out here on the couch.
Oh, you don't have to do that, Mrs. Jacks.
Well, it's my wedding present to you. For as long as you want it. Now, the first thing we're going to do is take you downtown and buy you one of those electric skillets. You know the kind that does everything except eat the food for you. Oh, baby. I just don't believe it. A barbecue. Well, Norman, you like to barbecue, don't you? Oh, and of course you've got to have china and silverware. Real silverware.
Hey, come on, Mom, slow down.
We don't need all that stuff, Mrs. Jacks.
My baby's gonna have a proper trousseau, whether you like it or not.
A trousseau?
Towels and washcloths with your initials, and sheets
With flowers.
with flowers.
Do you like flowered sheets?
I don't know. Flowered sheets.
Have you told your father yet? Or Rodney?
No, not yet.
Mom?
Yeah?
I want you to know that Norman and I didn't have to get married, if you know what I mean. We did it because we love each other. And that's the only reason.
I'm very happy.
Nurse! 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 Nurse!
What is it, Mr. Chernak?
Where you been? I could have died waiting.
Do you have any pain?
That thing, get that out of my arm.
I'm sorry, Mr. Chernak.
I don't want sorry, I want that out now.
Please lie still.
Lie down and try and relax.
Trying to kill me, Doc.
What makes you think you need any help? All right, you can go, Mrs. Dodd.
What are they shooting into me?
Nourishment? Something you've been trying to avoid all your life?
Well?
Well, what?
You know.
Oh, yes. Are you going to die? Well, I don't know. I think we've played this game before.
What kind of answer is that?
I told you before not to drink. And you swore you wouldn't. Then you go out and you pour enough whiskey down your gullet to kill 2 healthy men.
I didn't have that much.
Gus, you have advanced cirrhosis of the liver.
What is...
Your liver looks like an old army boot.
These are the results of your tests. There are complications all the way down the line. This is what happened at the mill last night. The veins in your esophagus ruptured. Now, that's why you collapsed. We managed to stop all the bleeding. But you lost a great deal of blood. This condition could come up again unless you're careful. Gus, 1 glass of whiskey could be the last nail in your coffin. Now, I don't know what more it takes to convince you.
Don't joke.
I'm not joking. I'm trying desperately to scare you. I think that's all I have left. If you go out on 1 more tear, 1 more binge, I don't care if you drink a glass or a whole case, I can't guarantee every bottle, every test tube in this hospital can pull you out of it.
All right, I slipped. What am I supposed to do if everything I spent a lifetime building up goes out the window because of some punk in a striped vest? Schuster fired me. So I had a few.
I thought that was why he fired you, because you had a few.
He can't make it stick. The old man will cram it right back down his throat.
Keep whistling, Papa. Only change the tune. It's too far out.
Oh, Peyton's too smart to play God with me. He knows what it'll cost his grandson. What are people going to say if Joe Chernak's poor old father's thrown out in the street?
They'll say you got what was coming to you.
You want to stay here with him a while? Well, I think you'd better tell your mother about his condition. It'll help her to help him. If you need any moral support, I'll be glad to do anything I can to help. The sooner the better. Gus, try and relax now. Will you concentrate on getting well?
You're the boss, Doc. Stella, keep me company a minute.
I'll see you in the lab.
You got nothing to say to your father? This is it. Any minute I could...
You're looking for somebody to blame? I'll bring you a mirror.
I wanted so much for you. I wanted to see you settle down. You know, you could do a lot worse than the doctor. He likes you, I can tell. I seen the way he touched you. Stella, you're sitting on a pat hand. Just keep your mouth shut and the jackpot's all yours. Just go on being what you are.
The liar you want me to be.
I won't tell him. We understand each other, don't we, Stella?
I understand you, Papa. I have always understood you. But I'm just beginning to understand myself.
Sit down, Mr. Schuster. Sit down. Don't you have a telephone?
Well, I was on the way to the mill. I thought I would chance a stop. Sorry if I interrupted you, Mr. Peyton.
Well, with this meal, I'm almost grateful for a distraction. I hope yours is interesting.
I had to fire Gus Chernak last night, Mr. Peyton. He was drunk. He broke into the machine shop and started tearing things apart with a sledgehammer. When I tried to stop him, he threatened me, so I fired him. He's been walking on eggs a long time. He cost us about $500 in damaged machinery last night.
Why didn't you fire him before?
I thought he could use another chance.
But now, in this particular point in time, you felt his chances had run out.
I thought it might have some effect on the trial, his being the dead boy's father and public opinion and so forth. I thought I ought to tell you personally.
And by telling me, you absolve yourself of all responsibility, is that it?
I fired him. I take the responsibility, Mr. Peyton. I'm merely informing you of my decision.
Thank you for your courtesy. I assume you send him the usual severance pay?
Yes.
I notify the insurance company.
As soon as I get back to my office.
Fine. I've disappointed you, Mr. Schuster. You were all primed for a scrap.
Well, I did expect,
You behaved like an employer. In this instance, you did the right thing. By now, Chernak's escapade is common gossip. If I'd allowed him to remain on the payroll, it would look as if I'd tried to buy him off. But I fired him, like any other incompetent employee. No favoritism, no payoff. What better proof could those 12 ciphers on the jury have that I'm keeping a respectful distance from the trial?
I didn't look at it that way.
Well, I did.
Thank you for your time, Mr. Peyton.
Oh, Mr. Schuster, your charming wife, how is she adjusting to the pace of New York City?
Very well.
And your daughter? Forgive me, I forget her name.
Kim.
Of course, Kim. And how is she adjusting?
She's very happy. She likes her friends and her school.
Has the district attorney subpoenaed her yet?
Fowler told me he wasn't planning to use her.
Well, if he doesn't, Stephen Cord will.
Why?
It's a logical conclusion.
My daughter is just now recovering from that preliminary hearing.
You'll have time to prepare her.
If Cord puts her through that whole thing again, she might not recover this time. I won't let him do it.
I doubt if you'll be able to stop him.
Mr. Peyton, as a businessman, no one can touch you. As a human being, I don't think anyone would want to.
You see the snow?
It's about time.
Did you see it?
You were out all night with Rita, weren't you?
Yeah. We,
think you'd know better after what happened to Betty and me.
Rod.
Well, was it worth it, little man?
Oh. It must have been quite a scene here last night. Big brother worried about little brother. Tries to sleep, can't, paces the floor. Decides to get busy. Starts cleaning the apartment. It takes him all night. Decides to cook breakfast. Enter the little prodigal little brother. Full of sweetness and light. Big brother in a fit of pique.
That's right. That's right, in a fit of pique.
Rita and I got married. What's your verdict?
It's tremendous. Oh, you kook, you big flick. In the middle of the Dark Ages, you come along and light up the sky. You're too much. You're too much. Okay, now, you and Rita take the apartment. I'm moving into the inn tonight.
You don't have to do that. Mrs. Jack said we could...
Oh, no. No brother of mine is going to move in with his mother-in-law. I mean, Mrs. Jacks means well, but, well, the more parent types you have looking over your shoulder, the harder it's going to be for you and Rita to make it. Who knows, if Betty and I hadn't moved into the house with Dad. Well, anyway, you didn't make my first mistake. Don't make my second. Take the apartment.
Yes, children, there is a Santa Claus.
Good morning.
Would you like some coffee?
Well, yeah, sure. Did I interrupt something?
Last night, Rita and I got married. Let me start again. Last night, Rita and I went to Owen Ridge and got married.
Well, what's done is done. We should be thinking about what to do now.
You could congratulate me first,
Well, of course, Norman.
and then wish me the best of luck. And try and make it sound like you mean it.
Congratulations, good luck, and I do mean it, Norman. The only reason for my concern is Rodney. I'm not at all sure what sort of a reaction the jury or the public might have if we announce this during the trial. Fowler might be able to use it in some way.
Dad.
Now, just a minute, Rodney.
What are you
Let
doing?
me finish explaining to Norman.
What are you doing? Now, Norman comes home with a Valentine, and you're trying to turn it into a legal maneuver. Now, whatever he does from now on may have an effect on the rest of us, but you can't make him change his life for my sake or yours or anybody's. You can't make him pretend he's not married.
Norman.
I'm not finished yet, Dad. Now, his life is his and Rita's, and I'm going to do everything in my power to see that you stay out of it. You have a genius for coming between people. I know all about it. It's no fun. Well, I see you in court.
Morning, Rod.
Oh, hello, Frank.
Is Norman home?
Yeah, why?
Another subpoena.
For today?
Yeah.
Oh, that's great. That's great. That's just what he needs today, to go on the witness stand.
Preview from the continuing story of Peyton Place.
Just forget that I have a sister? Just forget that she's disappeared?
This is a matter between a husband and a wife. How can you understand that? When you came out, you were in a very distraught state. It was soon after that you were hit by a car.
No! No, it's not true.
Don't you say another word about her. You hear me? She's my wife now. Understand?